Yeah, so I yeah, so I sent him.
See, this is the part.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Tinfoil Friday. How's everyone doing? Hope your weekend is just around the corner and you're excited for it. Welcome, welcome. We're doing an earlier stream today because a friend of mine is getting married later today, so of course I'll be busy at the wedding. So we're doing an early stream today. How's everyone doing? Good, I hope. Let's see what I missed in chat. And a hype train is kicking off. Lilac Rosenberg with 40 bits in this link, which we'll take a look at in a little bit. Sweet Lily Love with 100 bits says, wow, so early today. I get to watch Hannah during my ketamine treatment. Trippy Hannah. Oh, fun! Overthought with 100 bits says, Hannah gets $1, I get a dime. That's why I watch stream on my company time. Think you're overestimating how much I make doing this. Unconditional Prong with 38 months says, been chilling with some Kolchak and classic Twilight Zone. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's a good episode. Crizia with 62 months says, over 5 years. Jeez, I've been doing this too long. Anyway. Is this what I'm wearing to the wedding? Obviously. That would be very appropriate, right? Technically, the dress code is just no one wears black or white. So, could wear this. It's blue. Anyway, let's take a look at this video that was sent as a bits message. 5% to level 2 on the hype train, by the way. If you want to help out the hype train, you can use bits, gift subs, or subscribe yourself. We're also working our way towards a tip goal where we're going to be doing 4 special 8-hour-long streams, which will be a lot of fun. So if you want to get to that, consider tipping. All right.
Another video that I thought that Wendigoon was like a net positive because I saw that he was promoting independent horror writers, and I thought that he and Meat Canyon were collaborating on a project that was providing a positive experience, especially for a lot of young Gen Z men to come together and find community over something good. But I am now realizing, just looking into it, that maybe I was wrong, and maybe the type of community that they are cultivating is one in which bigotry and racism is defended and unaddressed. I was like,
I'm not very familiar with Wendigoon.
looking into what people were talking about, and I found a video talking about a guy named Praising Shadows and a video that he made where he was complaining about his own career tanking over a review he made of Hills Have Eyes. And at one point he starts talking about Wendigoon and starts talking about how Wendigoon is aligned with a lot of really shitty people. And when the dude whose video I was watching began to defend Wendigoon and started going for each point,
I'm sure this is interesting, but I'm going to stop it just because I don't know enough about Wendigoon to say anything about them one way or the other. I have no idea. I don't know anything about it, or this guy. So, I'm just going to move on from it. How's the Rapture guy doing?
If you think the markets are upside down right now, just wait until the rapture. If you think the markets are upside down right now, just wait until the rapture.
Oh, okay, he's doing great.
It's October 16th. If God told Joshua what Joshua said, that must mean that God knew that there would be people that would receive this message, that would receive this invitation and really take it to heart. It wouldn't be the whole world. Far from it. It would be a small percentage of people. And even a smaller percentage that actually believes the video or the message that Joshua is bringing. That's us. That's us, you guys. Like this is just feels like so special to be a part of this. Like, did we actually receive an invitation from God? Like, my God, this is a big.
Inspirational music really lends a lot to your chaotic, nonsensical, psychotic rants. I think it helps. Nemesaur, thanks for gifting 10 tier 1 subs, getting us 52% to level 4 on the hype train.
Please, fill the comments. Please, fill the comments. Please,
Oh god, it didn't load correctly. Let's try that again.
What would be some good tattoos for a watchman? Let me know in the comments. Give me your best ideas, dude. Oh, just the word harpazo, but in Greek. So it's like the cool letters, you know? My other body is glorified. Who watches the Watchmen? Oh, that's good. Huh? Hashtag Rapture. Rapture ready. Maranatha. Rapture now. Aliens didn't take us. If you're reading this, you...
So does he not think that's so interesting? Because why would he care what a tattoo said? Because most people who believe in the rapture think that human bodies will be raptured, like their whole body will get taken, but he's talking like they're gonna drop dead and their bodies are just going to be there. That's a little confusing. That's not typical for Rapture believers.
Digital money stuff is digital money stuff is digital money stuff is digital
TikTok
money.
is borked.
I cannot. After the rapture, the world will be in complete chaos. Governments will have to force compliance through an electronic control grid. That's why you see such a push right now for cryptocurrency, biometrics, ID 2020, all this digital money stuff.
Rewatch the video. Rewatch the video. That's not what he said. Rewatch the video. I'm telling you, he said on the 23rd or the 24th, he will come. He will come. Rewatch.
All right, then. So he's still not doing great. Good to know. Let's move on, shall we? We are playing bingo, by the way, so if you want, get yourself a bingo card. This one's pretty good. This guy's a channeler that claims to channel an alien. How do I put this? He's successful in the sense that he's a very popular channeler, but his performance comes off clearly as someone just trying to grift people, so it always cracks me up. H-Baird says, to be fair, Peter Thiel could be the Antichrist. No, he couldn't. He's just a shitty person. He couldn't be the Antichrist because Christian mythology isn't real. Okay, anyway.
If you give it that meaning, you will extract an effect from it, whether it be immediately or later on. All information is leaking into you from a variety of layers and levels beyond what you may be hearing with your ears. So when you pay attention on all levels.
He's not channeled a caveman. He's not as high tier as that one lady.
Just relax, open up, let go, and let in, and let yourself be and become more of who you are. And good day!
Greetings, Char. Once again, it's a great pleasure.
For us as well.
I had a very synchronous...
Has this guy been doing this long enough that French Stewart could have based, like, his big giant head thing off of him for Third Rock? Because, like, it is weirdly reminiscent, right? And I don't think this guy would rip off French Stewart, right? You'd think it would go the other way. Like, French Stewart saw this guy one time and he's like, I'm gonna use that for a character. Minute left on the hype train.
Meeting with an individual on my way here tonight.
All right.
We had an incredible conversation about mind culture.
Yes.
And
Yes.
she gave me a phrase, I guess, that comes from their language. When it was, I don't have a complete understanding of the translation. I was wondering if you might
Well, you can look it up. You can look it up.
Yes.
Why are you coming to me, you fool?
I would also be very, very interested in your interpretation.
Do you have the phrase?
In Lakesh. And the way I understood it was that it was sort of a greeting that I recognize the mirror that you are of myself.
It is similar to our Iliakar de Mashana.
Cuckoo. I don't know exactly what it is, but you know what I'm talking about.
It is a shortened
Oh, I'm getting F today. Good. Cool. How are people on YouTube? Getting Fs on YouTube too? Back? Okay, hopefully that was just a one-off.
idea, an abbreviation of that concept to some degree.
Mm-hmm. And is it used as a greeting?
It can
rather?
be.
Yeah. At the same time, though, there's a reality that's created on the group level that...
Yes, but you're creating that too by agreement. We understand that you create on a group level certain things to appear to be happening automatically so that you don't have to think about creating them. Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, you're still
Did they green screen the chair on purpose? I don't think they did so purposefully.
Creating them from
it's probably just reflecting the green screen.
Some level of your consciousness.
Although it does give kind of an air of oneness with the levitation, I guess.
It's like saying, well, we're going to create the game board, and then once we have created the game board, we understand what the rules of the game are. So we don't have to think about them, we can just play the game. The board seems to be automatic, seems to have nothing at all to do with the game itself that we're playing, but of course you created the board to begin with.
I think this is a bad metaphor. That's not even... What are you talking about? When I play board games, I'm not normally the one that created the board, and I do think about the rules. What are you talking about?
So that you could play the game on it, but you don't have to think about the board or the rules. You just know them. You can just play the game now. But you still created it. Make sense?
Yes.
All
yes.
right.
And
Yes.
so as
What's MallWorld? We'll cover that next.
we can consciously create this group consciousness
Yes.
together,
Yes.
and
Yes.
consciously move in a direction that we prefer.
Yes.
Yes.
Does it not get more powerful? Like, is that something similar? to
It
what-
doesn't get more powerful. It cannot be more powerful than it already is, but you become more aware of the power through your own self-empowerment because you become more aligned with the vibration of the source, the one, the all that is, the power. And thus then the more aligned you are, the more you recognize the vibration, the more you become aware of it, the more you can perceive it. Yes? Remember, you cannot
Yes.
perceive what you're not the vibration of. It doesn't mean it isn't.
You cannot see that which you are not the vibration of. Word salad on the bingo card. That doesn't mean anything. You cannot see that which you are not the vibration of. Yeah, that just sounds like you're having a stroke. That doesn't mean anything.
there. It just means you can't perceive it or experience it unless you're aligned with that frequency. But it's always there. If it wasn't there, you wouldn't exist. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Does that answer the question?
Yes.
Or is there some
Just-
other avenue you wanted to walk down on this idea?
It's funny too that he almost bullies the people into accepting his advice even though it doesn't make sense. Like he'll push them to agree to make it look like he's saying deep things like, "Do you understand? Yes? 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 Do you understand? Yes?" To try and get them to go along.
Yeah, no, that does. I don't have a very definite direction I'm trying to get at. I'm just
all right.
seeking clarification.
Well, the only direction that counts anyway is in. Because there is no out. That's
Like he's the most passive-aggressive alien guru I've ever seen.
an illusion. Yes?
Yes.
You understand
Yes?
that?
Yes. Very
It's
much
all happening in your consciousness. There is no physical reality except for your definition of it. And your experience of it is the only thing that's real. Reality is not real unto itself, but your experience of it is. That's what's real. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Reality is
projection
real.
that you're-
I bet reality is real. Damn it. Yes, it is. Your perception of it may be subjective, but I assure you, it is the subjective experience of an objective reality.
Using to explore and
Who is this guy? This is what he does. Is his whole thing. I don't remember the guy's actual name, but Daryl, that's his name. Daryl Anka, Darryllanka. He does this all the time, and it's always this same alien that he channels named Bashar. So he's always this really weirdly condescending, passive-aggressive alien guru character.
examine and reflect to yourself another perspective of who and what you are.
Yeah.
Because the structure already exists. The structure never changes. It's your perspective of the structure, your relationship to the structure. That's what changes. That's how creation expands. Creation doesn't expand structurally, it expands perceptually. Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there are an infinite number of perspectives you can have of the unchanging structure.
Yeah. And
Yes?
Yes?
as we raise our vibration and can focus,
I'm feeling it out. See, I could learn the grift. I know where the little yeses go. You know exactly where to put the yes?
ourselves on a group level.
Yes, as you become
Then-
more consciously aware of the agreements you have made on the group level, yes.
And this expands our perception.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Yes, it is. Does that help you?
Very much so. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Why, thank you. Yes? Oh, that's a good one. Did they get James Earl Jones to come do the breathing for this guy?
They are having fun with their technology.
My question.
And to you, good day.
Good day.
Speak up.
You think he used to do this a little more seriously, but then he's like, these people are idiots. I'm just gonna fuck with them. Like, not only am I gonna take their money, I'm gonna be an asshole to them about it.
My question.
And to you, good day.
Good day.
Speak up and be bold so that all may hear what you have to share.
My question follows along with the last one, because it is about perception.
Yes.
Many of us have do
Yes.
meditations
All right.
and this sort of thing where
This feels like a 90s SNL character. You know what I mean?
we have
Like, I can imagine Dana Carvey playing this and going like, yes?
experiences,
Yes.
sort of going beyond.
Is that a question?
No, it's just this.
It's a
first part of it.
statement? Yes, all right.
But then we come back from a meditation or from an
Yes.
experience back into our sort of regular life.
Not the same one.
Okay.
It's never the same. You have an old saying on your planet, you cannot step into the same river twice. Things are always moving, things are always flowing, things are always different. You are always shifting.
Did he get that from Pocahontas? They say that in Pocahontas.
In fact, you're shifting
I'm not joking.
billions of times per second from parallel reality to parallel reality to parallel reality. You just do it so smoothly, you don't even
Dimensions beyond our own on the bingo card.
know you're doing it, but you are. In fact, that's what time is. Time is the side effect of the shifting of your consciousness from parallel reality to parallel
Oh, indeed, youth decay. Indeed.
reality billions of times per second.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
I do.
Therefore, you must understand then that you never actually are the same from moment to moment, literally.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
It does make sense. It
All
does.
right, then, so you don't come back to the same life. You're not the same person. So,
So further
Yes.
to that, with
Yes.
the build up to today,
yes,
I think many people are perhaps
His accent keeps changing. That's just what happens when a fifth dimensional being tries to occupy a third dimensional water sack.
hoping for a dramatic shift.
Yes?
well, that's up to them, isn't it?
Yeah.
You will experience the idea of shifting in whatever way, shape, or form works best.
Just a peach with $1 tips as I'm a little late to this very early stream. Yeah, a friend of mine's getting married later today, so have to stream orally.
For you, in whatever way, shape, or form is reflective and representative of your strongest beliefs about what you think is true.
And
And again, remember, you've always been shifting. So it's not like you're just shifting now. You understand?
yeah.
Yes?
So that essentially what resistance we have, as you're mentioning, resistance is,
Yes.
Will
I'm sorry, I'm gonna laugh every time he says yes?
determine what happens, essentially. The more resistant we are
Yes.
to the shift,
Your definitions utterly determine how you experience the idea of your reality. Because there is no automatic built-in meaning or definition to things. Whatever definition you give the circumstance will determine how you experience it. Positive meaning in, positive effect out. Negative meaning in, negative effect out. It's that simple. This is just physics. There's nothing mysterious about this.
So, certainly mentally I have, I understand who I truly am.
Are you sure?
So
We
on
love it
certain
when
levels,
your
yeah.
people say, well, I understand it mentally. Whereas our definition of understanding means you get it on all levels. So really, if you have perhaps a mental comprehension of the
Yeah.
concept, that doesn't mean you actually have a deep understanding if you're not actually applying it in your life.
Exactly. So I guess it's more from the mental concept shifting into
Yes.
the fuller.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's stopping you from shifting into the fuller understanding?
It's a good question.
Thank you. We often ask good questions. Do you have a good answer for
I
that?
don't have the good answer to that.
You do, actually. What is stopping you? The way to find out what's stopping you is to ask yourself, what are you most afraid will happen if you actually move in the direction or act on?
Italian Shakespeare with a link says, only for a second, I take your yes and raise you this. Oh god, what is it gonna be?
No. Pinhead with the ultimate comeback.
No.
No.
That right there is genuinely my favorite part of this movie. You think there's going to be more to it, but no.
I can't even bring myself to watch that particular Hellraiser sequel. After they did the recast for the direct-to-DVD ones, couldn't do it.
On your highest joy. Come on. What are you most afraid?
Youth Decay says, I like Bashir because he does a silly voice. So many channelers now are too lazy to even do that. I agree. The showmanship is half of what sells it. It's obviously bullshit. It's a grift. But you gotta sell it, you know? You gotta give it the presentation. That's the respect you give your marks, is that you give them a little razzmatazz, you know?
Is going to happen if you actually give over to your joy.
M. Scheffler, thanks for 43 months of subscription, says, I've been out of the country for 6 months and watching your VODs was my favorite entertainment. The medbed video was great. Well, thank you very much, and I'm glad that my VODs were entertaining for you.
And actually
Yes, shilling scamming on the bingo card.
acted on your excitement in the way that you would prefer to. What are you afraid is the worst possible thing that might happen if you did that? Come on.
I guess that things would change so dramatically that they'd be unrecognizable.
And what's wrong with them being unrecognizable?
Hydrate.
You see,
Perhaps not the-
let me
perhaps
hold
the
you
ability
there
to-
for one moment.
Okay.
This, and thank you, is a perfect example of what we were talking about when we talked about the idea of having conflicting definitions in your excitement. How is it possible, by definition, to actually be acting on the thing that represents your excitement, your true self, and yet have an experience that is somehow unpleasant in that? How is that possible? It's not. You have a contradictory definition in your definition of excitement, so it's not really a definition of excitement. Because if it was, it wouldn't be capable of containing an experience that would somehow be contrary to the frequency of your joy. Would it? Logical, isn't it? Obvious, isn't it? That's what it's all about. The science of the obvious.
Yes? Yes?
That's why it's so important to have clarity about your definitions.
Is he channeling Peterson now? I don't know if this alien is addicted to benzos, so it's up in the air. Innocuous Blonde with 48 months says, Happy Friday, Hannah and company, and happy No King's Eve. Back at you.
And have a clear understanding of the nature of the structure of existence itself. Because when you clearly understand the structure and clearly
Lennon Cat says, being held hostage in a bank robbery is exciting. Excitement doesn't necessarily imply pleasantness.
understand what definitions you are applying to that structure, you will completely understand why you are getting the confusing vibrations or the fearful vibrations that you get. Because you're putting in confusing and conflicting definitions. Therefore, that's the only thing you can get out. In fact, that's exactly what should tell you that you're putting in confusing and conflicting and contradictory definitions, is that you are feeling confused, conflicted, and contradicted. Because you can't have those experiences unless they're based on definitions that exist first. So anything you feel is your way of alerting your consciousness to the fact that you have definitions that you don't know about, that are in your unconscious self. So find out what they are. That's the only thing, as we said, creating those experiences, because there is nothing inherent in the situations themselves that create confusion or conflict or contradiction. It's only...
Has he opened his eyes yet? No. For the channeling, he closes his eyes. A lot of channelers do that. I don't... It's part of the showmanship. I think it's one less thing to worry about also in your performance is the eyes. The eyes are a big tell, you know, and I'm not saying that, like, anyone's 100% or even 80 or 90 or even over 50% accurate necessarily at gauging people's body language accurately, you know? But I do think that often when you get a vibe about someone who's lying to you, some of that comes from the eyes. So I think it probably, A, gives the sense of, like, meditation. I'm deep in a trance, so my eyes are closed. And also, they don't have to worry about looking truthful with their eyes while they're doing this.
In your definition, it's only in your resistance to those things based on how you're defining it, how you're making it look. And therefore, your reluctance to go fully in that direction because you have a definition that says if you do, you're going to experience even greater contradiction, even greater conflict. But that's not true. The only reason you would experience an amplification in your conflict is if you continue to press the reality of a definition that's out of alignment with your true self, which you don't need to continue to do. Is this making some sense?
Absolutely.
Is it sinking in?
Definitely.
And thus raising you up?
Yes.
Is this helping?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Is there anything else?
That's it.
Thank you.
The look on his face. Alright. That's probably enough Bashar for now. That's 2 people. That'll do. Let's take a look at the bingo card real quick, and then we'll get into MallWorld. Oh boy, what do we even have? Believes they speak to aliens regularly. Shilling scamming. Vibes-based conspiracy. Anything else? We probably had stuff, but I forgot. Yes? Anything else on the bingo card? Yes? 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 Is MallWorld near Bottomland? I hope so, cause bottoms be shopping. Is that a joke? It had the form of a joke, but was it a joke? I don't know anymore. 55 word salad, thank you, yes. We got shilling scamming. 55. I can count to 55. Anyway, here's the stupid thing. This is terrible. I hate that just, and I understand the hypocrisy of this given my job, but I really hate that we just live in, like, how do I put this? We live in a society where any asshole can get in front of a camera and say stuff, and people can just go, yeah, that sounds right. Okay, let's go.
I'm an ex-witch who is now a Christian, and we need
She's an ex-witch who is now a Christian.
to talk about MallWorld. Now, I don't usually go into different conspiracies like this, but wow, there is so much that is being revealed to me right now about MallWorld.
What I always find funny about the ex-witches turned evangelical Christians is it always just feels like a palette swap for them. Like, not every person who's a self-described witch or Wiccan is like this, but there is a small subset of those kind of people that are effectively just evangelical Christian types, but are more into the nature aesthetic than they are the sort of religious Jesus-y aesthetic. And then sometimes they'll do a swap and they'll get tired of the nature thing and they'll go over and be like, ooh, Christianity, light, ooh, ooh. But really not much changes about, like, their personality or their behavior. It's just like they change styles, basically, but they're still believing in magic, right? Either way, they think that there's, like, mystical, magical powers in the universe and they're contorting them. It's just instead of, you know, burning sage, they pray to Jesus. It's the same thing, basically.
World, and I can't help but talk about it because it's very important. So MallWorld is a place that is basically like an infinite mall that seems to go in infinite places in all different directions, where there's like a school connected to it, a hospital, an airport, all of these other kinds of places that are all connected to this MallWorld place. And there are thousands of us that are realizing that we've all been to the same place.
So what she's talking about is dreams. It's actually funny she brings this up, because this is a recurring dream that I also have, but I didn't realize this was a thing other people had. You ever have a dream where you're like in this infinite airport or mall or something like that? A food court, that's one that I'll have a lot, where it'll be like some sort of mall complex and I'm like going to work or something, but I'll be in line for like breakfast at a food court. Like, this isn't something everyone has, but it is a trope, and it is a dream that other people also have if you have that dream. I have that dream somewhat regularly. But it's not mystical. It's not a real place that you're traveling to. It's your brain. It's your brain giving you images, giving you the faux dream experience of being in basically a liminal space. It's not a place, it's the impression of being in a place. It's a dream, it's a simulacra, it's not real, it's just the impression. Trey says I have that for casinos, which makes sense, because you're in Vegas, so you probably have a lot of experiences being in casinos and stuff like that throughout your life. So, it's just kind of a thing, right? It's a dream thing. In your dreams, you'll be taken. Taken is a poetic word here, of course. You're not really going anywhere. You will effectively hallucinate these liminal spaces that exists as echoes and impressions of real-life places, but they're not. They're hallucinations, so they're uncanny. They're weird. They feel like they go on forever because they have no real geometry to them. It's a fictive environment your brain is hallucinating. But of course, these people are mystical and believe that things are all magic because they're children. So instead of recognizing that this is just something that your brain does, instead they have to turn it into a real place that exists, and not only exists, but is secretly nefarious? Bittergrin with 100 bits says, reminds me of the SCP that's an infinite IKEA. Yeah, similar idea.
And you guys, I want to talk about this on a different sort of level, because as someone who has opened herself up in different spiritual ways that were in witchcraft, who is now a Christian, there is definitely something going on here, and it's much more sinister than you might think. A lot of people are saying that this is a good place, that this is a manifestation of our collective consciousness, and that, you know, we should all be trying to find each other in
Where's Carl Jung's grave?
MallWorld, and, you know, this is so fun, this is so cool. But I want you guys to realize that there are different subconscious programs that are trying to infiltrate our dream realm. Our dream realm is a very special place that God can communicate to us. He can do healings with us. He can share messages with us. And there are evil forces in this world that are trying to hijack our sacred dream space and use it for their own agenda. And
see what I mean about she's still just doing witch stuff, but with like a Jesus infusion? She's like, oh yeah, you can commune with God in dreams and he'll do healing sessions with you. I guess this doesn't sound as Christian as it sounds like crystally, you know?
And what essentially happens in MallWorld is that it kind of seems like a place that's very familiar to you. We've all been to a mall before, we've all been to school, we've all been to a hospital or an airport, and so the environment feels very familiar. However, we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but the spiritual principalities that are behind that, and it's almost like there's a layer.
That's one of my least favorite Bible verses, by the way, because so many evangelicals use it to justify their delusions. They'll be like, oh, you think it's frivolous or insane for me to be talking about real demons in the real world and treating it seriously and having anxiety about being attacked by demons? Well, this verse says that we fight not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. So, actually, I'm not crazy. Like, it's so bad.
underneath that in MallWorld itself. Even though we're in a spiritual realm, what appears to be okay to the naked eye is not actually what it seems. So behind, what feels very comfortable and normal and kind of mundane in MallWorld, there's something very eerie about it. And a lot of us have talked about this, the infinite toilets. There's something definitely off about that. And
I have not had the infinite toilet dream. She'll get into that a little bit more later, and her entire thing about the infinite toilet thing is very strange. And I kind of wish we could bring, like, Sigmund Freud back from the dead, not because I respect anything he has to say, but because I want to see what crazy bullshit he makes up on cocaine while listening to this woman on the couch talk about her strange infinite toilet dreams.
the reason why is because underneath that there is actually subconscious programming going on. So it's almost like a place where you can feel very safe in the dream realm to go explore, but behind that there's a program. Think about MK Ultra, Monarch programming.
MK Ultra on the bingo card.
All of that sort of stuff can also happen in the dream realm. And most of us have been exposed to this kind of programming in our life, whether we're aware of it or not. Whether you were in the Gateway program, or even if you were just involved in the media and watching basic movies and, normal music and things, they all have this demonic, evil programming that's in it. It's very common for us to be exposed to this stuff. And so that's why so many people who, believe that they were in the Gateway program have this experience. And so I want to share with you what happened with me. And what I just now realized was actually God showing me that I was in a program that I shouldn't be in. So a few months before I got saved, I started having these incredibly horrific dreams that were basically dream level within dream level within dream level, just like Inception, where I would go a dream within a dream within a dream within a dream. And basically what would happen is I was in MallWorld, and in the dream I would be in MallWorld and I would start to realize that something was off, that I was dreaming. I started to notice the different glitches in the system, if you will. For example, I remember going on a staircase and realizing that I could actually hack the staircase in this really weird way where I would jump through it and realize that it was just a never-ending loop.
That's not again, it's like she's reifying the dream space and making it a construct that exists outside of her own perception of it. It is literally just your brain creating the impression of perception. It's not a thing that can be hacked. It is whatever you're perceiving it to be. This is so frustrating to listen to. Freed Key, what do you want me to wear for the hats off? I think you did this the other day and then you didn't tell me what you want me to wear. So make sure in the chat you type what hat you want me to wear. I have cat ears, I have bunny ears, I have a Freddy Krueger hat, I have a witch hat. Those are some options.
And once I started to realize this, a demon would...
Yes, it sounds like she's lucid dreaming or pseudo-lucid dreaming.
Manifest and attack me, and then I would get taken a layer deeper and the dream would start over again. Then I would realize I was dreaming, and then I would get attacked, and then I would start over again. And this happened over and over and over and over again, to the point where I can't even count how many layers deep I went in. It was dozens and dozens of layers of dreams within dreams at this point, and I was going really, really deep into MallWorld. And one dream in particular, I realized that I was dreaming, and I was like, I'm stuck in this MallWorld, I can't get out, and it kept taking me deeper and attacking me. And eventually I found these 3 witches who were going to help me. And at the time I identified as a witch, so I thought this was a good thing. Again, something that's familiar that you trust based on your own psychology. And so I put my trust in these 3 witches to get me out of MallWorld, basically, get me out of this program that I was realizing I was in. That I was stuck in. And we started going in these elevators, and these elevators were taking us different layers, but the elevator wasn't just going up and down, it was like hopping through dimensions. And I started to see the different
Breed Key isn't telling me, so I'm just gonna pick a random hat. I don't know what's going on with that, so I'm just gonna grab one. And by random I mean the one that I always pick because it's my favorite one.
Malachia, the technological spirits that were behind MallWorld that were operating this whole program. And basically, I started to see that we were hopping through different dimensions, but every time I would come out, I was still in MallWorld. And it was like I was going deeper and deeper into MallWorld with these witches that were supposedly going to help me. Now,
yeah, this is just a dream. Ma'am, you're just describing a dream you had. Like, this isn't an adventure you, like, I feel like I'm talking to a child, and you have to, like, explain what a dream is to them. Ma'am, this is a dream. It didn't happen. None of this happened. This didn't happen in any location. You were never in peril. These witch characters are not beings that exist. This is all your brain. Your brain did this. It's a hallucination. Humans go to sleep at night, and then they hallucinate, and then they wake up. And I don't have more information for you than that. I wish I did. But, like, it's just a thing we do. It's not supernatural. It's a thing that takes place in your brain.
Now, eventually, they took me out onto the top of a tower, and it was pouring rain, and there was a helicopter coming down, and it was like super dark out. And basically, they told me there was a rope that came down from the helicopter, and they told me, jump on the rope. The helicopter's going to pull you out of this. And so I trusted them, and I jumped on the rope, and they started to and they were going to come with me. And as soon as I started to get pulled up, they turned and they became super sinister, and they were like, ha ha ha, we got her. And they didn't get on the rope with me. And it was almost like if I was going to continue to fly away with this helicopter, I would get stuck in the program forever. And I let go of the rope.
Except you wouldn't, because it's a dream. You would have just woken up.
And I fell, I didn't fall back onto the roof. I fell to the ground. I was falling down from the top of the skyscraper, and then I woke up. Now, as this continued, these dreams continued to get worse. And basically, these dreams did not stop until I called on the name of Jesus. Now, the first time that I called on the name of Jesus, I got taken out right away, and those dreams completely stopped.
That would be because you believed it would, ma'am. You're basically lucid dreaming and writing your own narrative in real time that comports to things you clearly were already dealing with.
And this led me...
And thus the palette swap I was talking about.
...to following Jesus and completely being saved, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. But I want you guys to know, whether you're a Christian or not, please understand that if you are starting to experience a very dark presence in your dream, if you're starting to have sleep paralysis or anything like that, do not hesitate to call on the name of Jesus in your time of trouble. He will pull you out of it. He has the highest authority in the spiritual realm, and it will...
He lets all this stuff happen, though. He's kind of a dick like that. He lets all this systemic dream assault happen despite having the ability to stop it at any time, just so you have to call him for help. It's basically a protection racket.
I promise you it will work. There are so many people that have had this experience, and please understand...
Wow, a lot of people have had the same dream experience. That must mean it's real, guys.
And that you do not want to be having dreams in MallWorld. Please, consider asking Jesus to help you from this, because he's truly the only one who can get you out of this matrix. It is a matrix. It's a program that is infiltrating.
I used to have video store dreams. I've not had them in a long time now, which is sad, but I used to have dreams where I was in a video store from when I was a kid, and I was just looking through the tapes.
Your dream space, where otherwise, if you're having MallWorld dreams, God probably wants to speak to you in your dreams. But
God probably wants to talk to you in your dreams, but they're hiding him with the infinite mall.
The MallWorld program is filling up all of the space and hacking the system so that God can't actually speak to you.
And God allows that because it's narratively satisfying to her. H. Baird with 40 bits says, real nice dream you're having. It sure would be a shame if you suddenly realized you were signed up for a class you never went to and today was the final exam. That's a brutal one. And it's always math for me. It's always math. I could pass any English exam. Math? No.
So please, like, consider calling on the name of Jesus when you're realizing that you're in MallWorld, or if you're having sleep paralysis, or if you're having dark presences in your dream. Jesus is the one that can save you out of that, and God wants to speak to you in your dreams. And I promise you, it's not in MallWorld. There is a realm of dreams that happen outside of MallWorld, and it's so much more beautiful and it's so much deeper. I also wanted to say that with the toilet thing, the thing that
okay, she's the toilet thing. The toilet thing I could talk about for hours. Will Kale with 155 stream streak says, I'll ask my coworker Jesus if he can get me out of the Matrix dream world. Yeah, that would be good.
I really am realizing about the toilets is that that is a program of perversion. That is a program of perversion and defilement that is infiltrating our psyche and going into our subconscious programming. So we've all had this dream of, the infinite toilets that are disgusting. Why is that? Because it is a program that is getting sent out to the masses to infiltrate our subconsciouses with perversion and defilement. So call on the name of Jesus. He is the thing that can break you out of MallWorld. God bless. I'm an ex-witch who...
The infinite toilet degradation program isn't real. It can't hurt you. This is some... Again, if I was Freud, I'd be like, this is the weirdest anal retentive expression I've ever... The infinite toilet dream! Ah! I just can't. I can't. Fedekagami with 40 bits says, why do people not realize that a ton of people don't have dreams, or at least don't remember them? I can't remember the last time I had a dream. Like stress and drugs and less restful sleep causes a ton of Americans to not have dreams. You have no idea what she means by infinite toilet? It's like a bathroom with infinite toilets. It's a liminal space of a never-ending bathroom.
If you're having... really am realizing about the toilets is that that is a program of perversion. That is a program...
Toilets are for perverts!
Of perversion and defilement.
Ladies like this apparently are why Psycho was the first movie to have a toilet. Who sees a toilet and they're like, that's perversion? Like, ma'am, I have to pee. Where do you want us to... Why do you want us to pee and poo? We gotta do it somewhere.
That is
I've never had that dream either.
Infiltrating our psyche and going into our subconscious programming. So we've all had this dream of, the infinite toilets that are disgusting. Why is that? Because it is a program that is getting sent out to the masses to infiltrate our subconsciouses with perversion and defilement. So call on the name of Jesus. He is the thing that can break you out of MallWorld. God bless. I'm an ex-witch.
Jesus, save me from the toilets! Did you see the guy who wrote Jesus Take the Wheel died? He was in a plane crash. That's a shame. You have an educational book for her? It didn't load correctly because the link didn't post. I assume it was supposed to be Everybody Poops, though. There it is. There it is.
I drew an intricate map of my own personal dream world. Come to find out, I'm in your dreams. My name is Tilton. This is part 7 of explaining my MallWorld map.
Don't you just hate how TikTok's just full of people making shit up to hopefully get a popular series? Like, am I crazy? It feels like this is one of the reasons I don't go on TikTok outside of, like, for work for this. Is because every other video is just someone making up a story in the hopes it goes viral so they can make 20 parts to this stupid fake fucking story. And the incentive structure is just set up to benefit making up the weirdest, most interesting lies. It's crazy.
It's called MallWorld, but it could be called School World, Hospital World, Parking Garage World, Parking Lot World. There are so many parking lots. There's an underground market, and these are like garage style doors. Sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down. There's a big theater. Sometimes it's playing a movie, sometimes it's like a play, and everyone you've ever met is in there. The Library of Confusion.
Everyone you've ever met is in the movie theater?
And embarrassment. There's also the infinite toilets. I've talked about that in a previous video. And when you're in school, you're late to class, there's a test, you never know which class you're...
So you just did a little drawing of a place that's made up of places in a lot of dream tropes. Okay.
Something that I really want you guys to understand is that you do not want to be having dreams in MallWorld. So many people are commenting on my last video saying, oh, I wish that I had dreams in MallWorld. I feel like I'm missing out. And guys, like, you do not want to be going to MallWorld. MallWorld is basically like a computer virus for the dream realm. And it happens from...
Did I hear about the TikToker who made like a 40-part series on how she fell in love with her psychiatrist? It's peak TikTok and wild. Yeah, and then she started talking about having like an AI boyfriend. I think it's fake. Again, it's just people telling it's a facsimile of viral content. It's like saying, what would go viral? Oh, a crazy person obsessively saying they fell in love with their therapist, so I'll play that character. It's almost like everything's an ARG. Like it's almost like everyone's participating in a game where everyone knows everything is probably fake, but what would be the most interesting if it were real? It's bewildering to me.
Opening these different doors, whether that's from programming that we have been subconsciously kind of brainwashed with through the media and the movies and the music and all of these different things that have a very evil agenda behind it. And it can also come from opening doors in the occult, particularly lucid dreaming and astral projection. And so many of you guys are sharing this desire to lucid dream and be able to control your dreams so that you can, have these cool experiences and stuff that people talk about. But I promise you that there is nothing cooler when it comes to dreams. There is nothing cooler than just hearing from God.
That's a lot of youth pastor energy. Kids, there's nothing cooler than God, your savior. H-Bird says, this is kind of like when Jerry Springer's show where a good 2/3 of the guests were amateur actors trying to get on TV faking weird things. Yeah.
Receiving a healing from him in your dreams, receiving a message from him in your dreams about something that you're going through in your life that just can be so useful for you with whatever it is that you're going through in your life, that is so much cooler than astral projection or doing lucid dreaming or anything like that. And I am saying that from someone who has had plenty of experiences doing all of those things, and none of it was ever as useful as actually hearing from God in my dreams. And
people who think God directly talks to them scare me to no end. It's one thing to think you're talking to God. I don't think that's true, but that's not inherently delusional to think you're talking to God. I think you're wrong, but it is delusional to think God is talking to you. You talk to God, not necessarily delusional. I think you're wrong, but not necessarily delusional. God talks back. Delusional. That's the line. You think you're receiving messages directly from God? Delusional.
And a lot of the times when I was doing those things, I actually ended up having really scary experiences. And a lot of people can attest to that. They talk about, their lucid dreams, their lucid dreaming in MallWorld, and then they get attacked. And that is just a testament to the fact that these things open up doors into spiritual realms that we have no business opening. And that's okay. Like, we don't need to go to every single spiritual place to have spiritual experiences in the first place. Like, you don't need to astral project to have a powerful spiritual experience. And wouldn't you rather want to have one that's happening directly from God himself rather than having one that could potentially be, and most likely is, full of deception, full of spiritual attack, full of demonic oppression? Because that's what you're going to get when you do lucid dreaming and when you astral project or when you try to get yourself to enter into MallWorld.
Everything I don't like is demons.
MallWorld is not a good place to be going. And I promise you that anytime you are having sleep paralysis...
I will say this. They have a good patty melt according to my dreams. When I've had dreams in like a food court mall environment, there was like a Culver's in there. They made a hell of a patty melt.
If you're having a demonic dream, if you're finding yourself in MallWorld and you're stuck and you can't get out, call on Jesus. I don't care what your spiritual background is. I want you guys to understand this, that he will bring you out. Jesus Christ has the highest authority in the spiritual realm. He has higher spiritual authority than any level of protection that you could create for yourself through different practices of witchcraft, different practices of, all of those different things. He has the highest spiritual authority, and that is why so many people are talking about on here how when they had sleep paralysis, they called on Jesus and he pulled him right out. And that's exactly what happened for me as well. And I realized that actually asking for Jesus to protect me. And
Caesar Bishop says, this always confuses me. Is God and Jesus the same? Oh, you just opened a can of sectarian worms. So that's actually the relationship, the Trinitarian relationship in Abrahamic religions, in Christianity specifically, I should say, between God, the Holy Spirit, and Jesus, has been grounds for debate since basically the beginning of Christianity. I think it's all bullshit, because, I don't think God's real, so it's like a conversation philosophically that means nothing to me. But it has been a point of discussion of God and Jesus. God is the Father, Jesus is the Son, and the Holy Spirit is this other thing over here. What is their relationship? Are they one and the same? Are they different aspects of the same whole? Is God the Father the whole, and Jesus and the Holy Spirit are just Cameron, aspects of the Father? Or are they all together? It's a whole thing. It's a whole fucking thing. Again, I don't think any of it's real, so it doesn't matter, but it's a big discussion in religion. H-Bird says, Santa Claus once punched someone over whether or not Jesus and God were the same or not. That's from the Council of Nicaea. It might be a myth. I don't know if that's apocryphal or not. Oh, apocryphal. That's funny to say about the Council of Nicaea, because that's when they decided what was anyway. Benikagami says, ma'am, if God can't give me a Celestial Warlock pack and let me use Eldritch Blast, I can think of a ton of things cooler than talking to him.
And asking for his help was more effective in protecting me in my dreams than all of the years of things that I did. I mean, for years, I did so much to try and protect myself in my dreams, you guys, through witchcraft, through meditation, through rituals, all of these different things. And it didn't work. It actually
Have you considered smoking weed? You'll probably just stop having dreams.
only made things worse. So remember that you can call on Jesus whenever.
Or Hypnosil.
Whenever you are having something bad happen in your dreams, and he will pull you out right away. Something that I really want you guys to.
Yeah, so that's what MallWorld is. Unfortunately, a lot of people are talking about this on TikTok now. It's become its own little trend where people are talking about their stupid MallWorld bullshit. People are making AI slop of their MallWorld dreams. It's just stupid. Everything's stupid. Alright, moving on. Anyway, now to serious business. Transvestigating Pee Wee Herman.
Pee-wee's Playhouse, one of my very favorite shows growing up. I believe the show came out in 1987. I was in second grade. Favorite show. So this
It was her favorite show. That's why she's gonna disrespect the dead man who was the star. Just a Peach with a Tip says, the church that Green Guy and I attend is based on the beliefs of the man Saint Nick punched for a fun fact. Ooh, fun. Overthought says, when I threw my back out a few years ago, they gave me some muscle relaxers and I had the most vivid dreams of my life on them. Kinda nice. Oh, fun.
This video will be, I want to start off respectfully. It would be remiss not.
I want to start off respectfully before I say some incredibly disrespectful shit.
To acknowledge just the creativity and imagination, and it's such an artistic show. That being said,
she's gonna call all the artistic elements satanic. But we have to applaud the artistic talents who put together this evil show. What?
It is rife with occult symbolism and lots of gay undertones, like gay subtext. So let's get into it. Notice no brow ridge and a tiny little dental arch, tiny little mouth.
Transvestigation on the bingo card.
Pee-wee, not your shoulders are the same width as your hips. Not you just looking like a woman here. Not you wearing cherry red lip gloss on a kid's show.
He's supposed to look like a little boy. Does she not get what the gag is with Pee Wee Herman? The Pee Wee Herman gag is that he's like a little annoying boy, but he's an adult, but he's acting like a little annoying, like, that's the joke?
Not the exterior of the playhouse has a huge Egyptian statue.
Sphinx. It's called a Sphinx.
That's what it appears to be. And am I seeing pedo swirls there?
I mean, you might be seeing them, but they weren't there.
Not a huge one-eye occult.
He was also like a life-size Howdy Doody. Like the other guy, he's kind of dressed like the other guy from Howdy Doody. I don't know his name. He wears a monocle. He's got the red lips too. You know what I'm talking about? Howdy Doody's the redhead. I'm talking about the fancy man, the fancy puppet. What's the fancier puppet from fucking Howdy Doody called?
Eyeball on your bike helmet. And what's up with those creepy ass clowns? That's a good.
One of the other like Pee Wee Herman show took a lot of the aesthetic of kids shows and hypercharged it, right? That's part of the gag, is that you're taking these very stereotypical children's show iconography things and jacking them all up to 11. To the point of borderline uncanny valley. That's the point.
Good one, though. Not satanic lion symbolism there on your bike.
Apparently lions are satanic now. Satanic on the bingo card.
Not your red playhouse door basically making a lightning shape. Or is that a reach? I think it's light.
That's a huge reach. That's just a jagged shape.
Lightning shape. And red. Lightning, another satanic reference.
You couldn't handle it as a kid. Too much stimulation. There you go. I have it on Blu-ray. It looks beautiful. It's a little hard to watch more than one episode at a time as an adult now, I won't lie. Even with my ADHD, it's a lot. But it's a really great show.
Friends, obviously. Cherry's my favorite. I had to show this picture. Not Pee-wee throwing the bath.
Spurious symbology on the bingo card.
Not occult symbolism, satanic stuff all over the playhouse floor. It's really hard to find a good picture of this, but there's a really creepy cross, like right in the middle of this thing. There's no pentagram, but it might as well be. It's really weird.
Throwing the bath is what she said, short for Baphomet. There's an image of Baphomet, which is sort of the goat-headed, demon-betitted character that goes like this, I think. Anyway, they think that this is a Baphomet symbol. It's not.
I guess that one's like a little more clear. Here's a better one. So, do you see that cross right in the middle? Why is this on the playhouse floor? And I noticed 3 sets of 7. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, right? Am I counting that right? Yep.
That'd be 2 sets of 3 sevens.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 sets of 3 sevens. 7, 7, 7, very important number. This is an Aleister Crowley thing. That floor is wild. How did nobody notice that?
Because most people aren't insane. Or at least don't share your particular illness.
Not a trans genie. This...
Jambi the genie's trans. Alright. Jambi's just a head. Jambi doesn't even have genitals. So what are we even talking about when we're talking about transgender genie head? Jambi has no genitals. So whatever Jambi's gender is just Jambi's gender because they don't have a sex. Right? They can't...
Thing.
They have no sex for their gender to be trans of. Whatever.
Was always weird. Right? I used to remember thinking, like, it sounds like a guy, but he's wearing lipstick. This genie was...
Has she never seen a production of anything before where, like, male characters are wearing lipstick? Especially because he's in full blue face. Like, he's clearly a mythological genie character. Does she not understand he's in makeup? Yes, he's wearing makeup. He's wearing a makeup face.
Kind of ick. Not that clay animation series with Penny, who has pennies for eyes, and most time you see coins on eyes, it means the person is dead. So, is Penny dead? The rest of her family...
She's not dead. Her name is Penny, and her eyes are pennies. Glad I could explain that.
Doesn't have coins on the eyes, just Penny. Notice that picture on the wall behind Pee-wee, and he has Cowboy Curtis, who's kind of like, I don't know, he basically, I think, has a crush on Cowboy Curtis. And notice that cow with the pearls in the background. Pearls? Is the cow trans over here too?
What? The cow's a girl! Like, not even, like, just, like, in the show. Cows in real life are women. Cows are the female of the species. What? It's a cow! Cows are women! If it was a bull wearing pearls, you could maybe... But what? What is she talking about? Does she not know that cows are women? Ah!
Not the naked lifeguard man candy on a kid's show. This is Tito, the lifeguard, who just walks around with his muscular self, and Pee-wee is always admiring him. All on a kid's show. Not you cross-dressing in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, that's them hiding from the cops.
Not you throwing the bath on a late-night talk show.
That's the peace sign again.
And coming out in a documentary after you died. If he died.
He did die.
This is the documentary. I haven't seen it because I don't have HBO.
Also, he may have publicly come out on that documentary. I don't really know. But, like, he got arrested in the 90s at a gay porno theater. Like, it's kind of been known, right? Like, it's not a secret. It hasn't been for decades.
Max. Not globy and more like space and round earth brainwashing.
Is that the first confirmation we have that Wretched Recess is a flat earther? I don't remember. Has she said that before? Flat earth on the bingo card. Oh boy.
Ready for this one? Not the one-eyed monster. One-eyed monster is another name for a penis, right? Like, that's a thing. And there's a whole episode about the monster in the playhouse. And it's a one-eyed monster. And they could have made it look any way, but it looks like a penis.
I'm horrified at the penises you've seen. This looks like a penis to you?
So, and then you have the one eye symbolism also. Crazy. Like, Oh my gosh. Ah, not the one-eyed monster standing on the satanic floor. Like right in the middle. See that cross there in the middle? Not a huge one eye hanging in the playhouse. This here is like somebody's drawing or artwork or whatever. But this, I think the big eye was in his kitchen. I'll try to find a better one. Pee-wee, I'm starting to think you might be a satanic tranny.
Strike one.
Darn it, I meant to start the video out this way. Not your name is Pee-wee, and not your last name is Herman.
Okay. I didn't see that one coming. I'm not gonna lie. This has taken me a little aback.
Herman. Get it? Herman? Pee-wee Herman? All right, guys. Pee-wee's Playhouse, all of the seasons are streaming for free on Tubi.
Oh my god, that reminds me. They put Freddy's Nightmares back on Tubi. If you're desperate like me to watch Freddy's Nightmares, the Nightmare on Elm Street TV show they did in between the 4th and 5th movies, it's on Tubi. All of it. The whole thing. So go watch Freddy's Nightmares when I'm done with stream.
And please, if you watch one episode, I need you to watch this episode. It is filled with insanity. It's season 1.
An episode of Pee-wee's Playhouse filled with insanity. That never happens.
Episode 10, and it's called The Cowboy and the Countess. So season 1, episode 10, The Cowboy and the Countess. So many crazy things happen. I just so happened to be paused on this one scene where Pee-wee rescues a naked boy from the sharks in the water.
He was swimming. Does she not understand that in our society, typically men swim with trunks with no shirt? And women typically wear either one-piece bathing suits that cover their torso and bottoms, or bikinis. That is typical in our culture and has been for like a century at least.
In his little
I guess I should say bikinis didn't really become a thing until like the late 60s and into the 70s. But like, you know, like men have been swimming with their shirts off for over 100 years.
Connect the dots game. So there's that, but that's the least crazy thing that happens in this episode. First of all, Tito, the lifeguard, is here in this episode, and he's teaching people how to float and swim. And I just noticed that magic 8-ball there in the background. There's so much in the Playhouse. But yeah, Tito. I wish I could play this, but I can't risk getting a copyright strike or whatever. I don't have any, but you know, my channel's been pulled once for no reason. So anyways, there's this scene, okay? You have to watch this. It's at 6 minutes and 25 seconds in to season 1, episode 10. Cowboy Curtis makes his entrance and he sits down on this chair and he puts his feet up. And they start having a conversation about like his feet and the cowboy boots.
You know what they say about big feet, big boots? Is that this scene?
So Pee-wee starts talking to that genie, Jambi or whatever.
Jambi! Why does she act like she's a fan of these shows and then she doesn't remember important things about them? He's Jambi the genie. Mechaleka hi, Mecca-hiney ho. Mechaleka hi, Mecca-hiney ho.
Name is, and Pee-wee says, is it okay if I give Cowboy Curtis my wish today? Because in every episode, Pee-wee gets one wish from the genie. So he's like, I want to give Cowboy Curtis my wish. He needs a new pair of cowboy boots. And the genie, with this disturbing amount of makeup and...
Why is it disturbing? There's not. He's playing a genie. He's a mystical, spiritual Jinn character. Why is it disturbing that he's wearing blue face? What? There's what? Why is it disturbing?
Winged liner and red lips.
He's basically done up like a cartoon character.
Is like, sure, he can have your wish. And he's like, Cowboy Curtis, what size boots do you wear? This is where he's asking, what size do you wear? I am not even shitting you. Cowboy Curtis says to him, I wear a size 12, double E. I don't know what that part means, but size 12. And then they show the genie making this like impressed face.
Yeah, the Pee-wee's Playhouse had a lot of double entendre intentionally. Like, it was during an era where that was, like, a thing. Animaniacs a little later did similar jokes that were like, a kid wouldn't get it, but it's a joke that an adult would get. That's a common thing. Even to this day, that happens in, like, Minions films and stuff.
He goes, wow, big feet.
You know what they say about big feet? Big boots.
And at 7 minutes and 12 seconds, Cowboy Curtis goes, well, you know what they say. And of course, Pee-wee has to be like, no, what do they say? And I'm sure you guys get the dick joke there, but then Cowboy Curtis goes, his reply is, big feet, big boots. And this fucking creep makes this like orgasmic face and winks. Fuck you. It's so weird. Like, this is...
Yes, Lawrence Fishburne was in Pee-wee's Playhouse.
What we were watching as kids. This is the whole
He was also in Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Dream Warriors.
Of my channel, Wretched Recess, like the crazy, creepy things that, you know, they were making for kids. But would you look at this? Ew. And then he makes this face, and he's just smiling. Unbelievable. You guys have to watch this episode, and then Cowboy Curtis is arranging a date with Miss Yvonne. Or I'm sorry, Miss Yvonne asked Cowboy Curtis out on a date. And, you know, we love that Pee-wee had the first, like, video call phone, picture phone, whatever. When I was little, I thought that was so cool. And now, like, I don't want anybody video calling me. I don't know why. I don't like it. It seems intrusive. That's just me. But, yeah, so they're talking on the phone, arranging this date. So then there's like this whole part of the episode where Cowboy Curtis is nervous and doesn't know how to act on a date. So like the cow is giving him some advice here. And don't worry, because Pee-wee is going to role play and he's going to play Miss Yvonne. This is like the gayest scene ever. So
this is an incredibly common comedy trope. Has she never seen TV shows from this era? You do I gotta get ready for a date. Will you pretend to be the girl and we'll all practice? That's an incredibly common, like, comedy trope of the era. For, like, 30 years, that was an incredibly common comedy trope.
Oh, they're, like, going back and forth.
I mean, yeah, like, this is the joke. So like, she's basically like, can you believe this joke? Like, yeah, that's the joke.
They're talking, he's pretending he's Miss Yvonne, and the cow goes, okay, now we're at the end of the night, it's the end of the date, and you're like taking your date to the door, walking your date to the door. Oh, there it is. There's the eyeball that I was looking for before. While they're doing this role play, here it is. Lots of gayness going on here. They're having this whole conversation still, like, can I see you again? I had a really great time on our date.
If you showed this lady queer as folk, do you think her head would explode? Like, is she just, like, she seems genuinely incredibly offended at the idea of, like, gay things existing. And this is just, like, a joke. This is, like, a 1980s ha-ha gay joke, right? This isn't even a joke that's premise is, like, being gay is okay. The joke is, haha, isn't gayness icky, right? Like, is she aware that you can just depict actual gayness and it's, like, fine? Very strange. Very strange.
You know, it just gets gayer and gayer. Like, he goes in for the kiss. Like, you know, kids watching this don't really know what to make of that. But why does this...
No, the joke is implicitly, and I'm not like, it is what it is. This was made decades ago. Not telling you can't like Pee-wee's Playhouse. I like Pee-wee's Playhouse. But it's weird that she's acting as though this is pro-gay, because the joke is implicitly, isn't two men being gay? Isn't that funny? Isn't that something worthy of mockery? Again, it's pretty light in the way it's doing that, but that is implicitly the joke. That's the joke. But she seems to think that it's somehow promoting queerness when in reality it's mocking it. It's turning it into the premise of a joke.
Need to be on here. It's a really weird scene. But yeah, season 1, episode 10, worth checking out. Not me buying Cherry on eBay, because I love Cherry.
She's so, like, you see what isn't her personality so interesting? Like, based on everything she says, it seems like she should have nothing but derision for this show. But she's, like, a fan, but she hates it and thinks it's disgusting. It's strange. Feels contradictory to me.
That and those little talking or dancing flowers that were by the window. Cherry and the flowers are my favorite. And this scene here. Oh my god, I forget why he like puts all that tape around his face, but it was funny.
That's from the movie. She's also conflating the movie and the show a few times in this, which is a little weird.
Probably not the best example for kids. I wonder how many kids went to the emergency room because of that episode. He puts tape over his nostrils, like, not good. Real quick, guys, I'm going to put a link for this in the description.
Oh, she has merchandise.
I have wanted a Wretched Recess hoodie since last year. I made some merch. It's on Bonfire. I'm sorry about their prices are a little steep. Like, they set a base price and it's like high, and then I make like $5 off of each one sold, something like that. But anyways, if you want a Wretched Recess shirt or hoodie, that's up on that website. And then also, important, just in case something happens to my channel again, I really enjoy doing Wretched Recess, so I thought I would start a blog as a backup plan here. So it's Wretched Recess. It's on Wix. Okay, so here is that site, and
Jesus. All right. Ruth Buzzy Ginsburg, thanks for your membership, and Bella Lagotzi, thanks for 33 months of subscription on Twitch, says no, he does that in the show. Okay, I guess it looked like the movie to me. Maybe. Oh, what's next?
Heard was Anunnaki, which second thing I also heard was Anunnaki, which I don't know much about, but I'm almost getting this feeling of like things are leading up to disclosure of, how do I put this, for the world to awaken to what actually is a feeling that I'm very much getting. I feel like you're being prepared. I feel like as you are preparing the collective as well, whether this is consciously or while you are in the sleep state and you do things in the astral with your star family. But I get the feeling that you're very, very active in this process. So this means you're obviously a starseed, which might have Anunnaki connections. So let me
You think she ever tells any of her customers they aren't star seeds?
see. Okay. I'm seeing like a reptilian race, and they just really want people to understand that it's not because there are a couple bad apples in the bunch that it makes the entire collective of that race breed to be negative, harmful, and hurtful. They're saying in any sort of collective, you're going to have some bad ones and some really great ones. They're saying don't generalize it just because whether it's like a handful or like a larger group of this reptilian collective, they're saying just be open-minded and just tune into whether you're already connecting with beings or with other people as well. Connect with your heart space. It will never lie to you. It will tell you if something or someone has the intention of being hurtful or.
That is such bad advice. Telling people to always trust your feelings, trusting your heart vibes instead of like seeking evidence and oh my god, that's terrible advice.
Harmful?
You're going to cause people to trust people they shouldn't and distrust people that they should trust because people's vibes are wrong all the time.
But listen, see with your.
Like, do these people think we developed rational inquiry for no good reason? Oh my god.
Heart is what they're saying. See with your heart. It will show you so much more. I'm also getting a reference to your.
I think Captain Disillusion's little saying is good here. Love with your heart. Use your head for everything else.
High heart. They're saying either you're in the process of opening that up, or now is the time to kind of start opening that up, which I'm not very familiar with this myself, but that's kind of like the information that's coming through. Hearts.
Okay. Enough of her. Has anyone seen Snake Eyes?
We are getting close to the end of 2025, which is the year of the snake, and we're talking about the 1998 film Snake Eyes. And I'm going to keep it a beanbag with you. I've covered older movies on this channel before with The Giver and The Village comparison, but this
Calling The Giver or The Village older movies makes me feel like The Crypt Keeper.
evening, we're going to take a deeper look into this peak Nicolas Cage classic due to the movie hitting a sudden trending season sparked by what some would call coincidence with the recent Charlie Kirk situation. This topic has blown up all over social media. And
for those who don't recall, the movie Snake Eyes, which is a pretty good De Palma film, it's no Scarface, but it's not bad. The problem is they reveal the killer too early, unfortunately. And I know the director has said, like, that wasn't what it was about, and it's like, you set it up like a whodunit, so that's on you. But anyway, the movie is about, there's a boxing match in, I want to say Atlantic City, and someone gets assassinated at the boxing match. The person who gets assassinated is a U.S. Secretary of Defense named Charles Kirkland. So after Charlie Kirk got, a bunch of conspiracy theorists decided, oh, let's put our predictive programming hats on and find any movie or TV show with a vaguely similar name. And they came across Snake Eyes. Charlie Kirk, Charles Kirkland. That's where all this began.
And its core message is something that I've addressed several times on this channel. I've seen a few social media posts about this and read some really interesting theories surrounding this subject, but I have noticed a couple.
They're not interesting.
Of comparisons myself that I haven't heard many people talking about, and we're going to go over those shortly. This evening, we're going to go over some of the plot points of the movie and the connections to real-world events.
I'll have you guys know I rewatched this the other day just so I could cover these goddamn conspiracies.
I'll breaking down some of the esoteric symbolism, the hidden messaging, and I'll give you my opinion about what we're bearing witness to. But before we do that, I want to thank all of you for watching. And if you're new to Real Enigmas and Theories, welcome. This video will contain spoilers for the 1998 film Snake Eyes. But hey, It's over 2 decades, so you might as well just stick around and hear the context and then go watch it. This movie is available on Paramount Plus, and it's blown up since this whole Charlie Kirk situation, which is crazy in itself. So without further ado, let's cook. I'm going to start this one off by getting into our key characters. Okay, so we have Detective Rick Santoro. He's a loud, flashy, corrupt Atlantic City cop who's at the casino to see Tyler the Executioner fight. Lincoln Tyler is a boxer who's paid to take a dive in the second round to cause a distraction for a shooting. We have Commander Kevin Dunn, a high-ranking U.S. Navy officer and Rick Santoro's longtime friend. We have Secretary of Defense Charles Kirkland, and he's shot in the neck during a boxing match by a supposed terrorist. He comes into possession of a report proving that C-RAM missile systems are faulty, and his elimination ensures that the weapons deal continue. He received that information from Julia Costello, a Department of Defense analyst and whistleblower. She smuggles proof of the missile defense scam to Secretary Kirkland and gets targeted by Dunn afterward. She came to the boxing event in a platinum blonde wig dressed in all white, and her being dressed in all white takes me to another character.
Karpkosian says there was a book in the 1890s or so about the largest boat ever built called the Titan that ran into an iceberg in the North Atlantic and sank. People did this stuff back then too. Yeah.
The woman who was dressed in red, who was
I actually want to read that book someday to see what the differences are, because you always hear about the similarities and people never talk about all the differences that actually make it not the same.
Actually working with Dunn. She serves as a decoy near Kirkland.
Oh yeah, it has nothing in common with Charlie Kirk other than there's an assassination and the name is vaguely similar. That's it.
While Dunn sits with Santoro and distracts attention at key moments. The other distraction besides Tyler taking a dive is a man in the crowd who yells, "The pain is coming." Then we have the lone Palestinian gunman that fires the fatal shot at Curtin.
Oh, yeah. And the gunman in this is a Palestinian national who gets basically it pinned on him. So the Charlie Kirk conspiracy theorists that think that Israel did it are also using that as a justification.
And then is immediately popped by Dunn, who is conveniently right there. His death seals the official story, case closed. But we got Santoro on the case, and he is legitimately trying to figure out what's going on. Little does he know, his longtime friend Commander Dunn is the perpetrator. So there are most of the important characters in the movie. Now, let's move right along. On September 10th in Atlantic City, a boxing match draws thousands into an arena.
Same date.
As the tropical storm named
Tea Time Tea with a $5 super chat says, I don't understand what they think the point of this would be. Predictive programming. The biggest... you gotta understand that conspiracy theorists, many of them, believe that the secret government or the secret people that control the world have a compulsion or need, based on some arbitrary rule sets that they've decided on, that they need to basically reveal their plans to the population before they happen. So that's why they think they hide them in movies and TV, to both show off what they're going to do and to quote-unquote subliminally prepare people for what's happening. Now that doesn't mean anything. It's basically just a post hoc justification for people who are seeing patterns in clouds. It's a post hoc justification so they can say, my brain buzzed and drew a connection between these two things. What must that mean? So they're basically working backwards from their feelings. They draw some arbitrary connection between these two things, a real event and a piece of fiction. Excuse me. And then they decide, what would justify my feelings being an actual warning? So then they have to justify, oh, their similarities aren't just a coincidence. It must be because people in power intentionally hid it, and I found the connection because I'm so smart, and I'm so, what's the word I'm thinking of? I'm so astute that I was able to catch the connection that the normies couldn't catch, instead of just it being random connections your brain is making falsely.
Named Jezebel rages outside. Detective Rick Santoro struts through the chaos, corrupt, flamboyant, taking bribes, and he's just loud. He's also a supporter of Tyler the Executioner. The atmosphere is noisy, glamorous, and dirty. That's the perfect setting for a ritual stage. At the center of all of it sits Secretary of Defense Charles.
It's not a ritual within the context of the movie. It's literally killing a guy to keep a weapons deal going.
Kirkland, a man that's holding documents that could expose a
Prince Andrew to give up all his titles and honors, including the Duke of York. He should be in prison.
fraudulent
That's good, though. I wonder if something's about to drop about him.
missile defense contract.
Like, I know there's already a lot of information out there, but I'm wondering if some bigger story or more people are coming forward, and that's why he's doing it right now.
Concerning Israel and Palestine. His presence there is no coincidence, and neither is Commander Kevin Dunn. Dunn later reveals that he pulled some strings to be in charge of Kirkland's security detail. In the ring, heavyweight
H. Baird says if Detective Rick Santoro became a one-term senator known for being extremely bigoted, I would believe in predictive programming.
Lincoln Tyler plays his part. Tyler the Executioner has had orders to take a dive on the second round, collapsing on cue so that he pretty much throws the arena into chaos. And he does it. And as the crowd erupts, cameras flash, and at that precise moment, a Palestinian gunman raises his weapon and silences Kirkland forever. Julia Costello also gets hit in the arm, and Santoro jumps to save her. Her wig falls off, and her glasses are destroyed, but she gets away. The shooter is immediately taken out, tying off the narrative with a neat little blow. One lone extremist, clean motive, story over. The dive, the bullet, the death all converge in a carefully orchestrated sequence, just like how public spectacles are today. But we know when things happen like this, it's pretty much used to mask a deeper operation. So Commander Kevin Dunn, Santoro's Navy buddy, emerges as the so-called hero. He positions himself as the man who tried to save Kirkland, and he's trying to make that story stick so that he can just go ahead and wrap it up with a tight little bow real quick. But that cover story doesn't sit right. Santoro begins to notice some inconsistency. The timing of Tyler's fall, the blind spots in security footage, the woman in red pulling his attention.
When was this movie? 97.
And Costello is still out there
rather,
somewhere.
sorry.
But like I said, her wig fell off and she went and got a change of clothes too. So she doesn't look like who she looked like when Santoro first encountered her. So Dunn's plan starts to fall apart. And as Rick Santoro digs deeper, he realizes the entire arena thing was a whole setup. Dunn is the mastermind. He manipulated fighters, handlers, security staff, and operatives to create the perfect frame. The Palestinian gunman is just a patsy, and Tyler the boxer is the fall guy whose collapse set the stage. But now Julie...
That's not what the fall guy means. Like, he literally fell in the movie because he pretended to get knocked out. But the fall guy would be the Palestinian gentleman.
Is the loose end that needs to be tied.
Fall guy is the person who takes the fall, is the person who gets things pinned on them, not a guy who literally falls down.
Off. But Santoro ends up going against his friend and doing what's right by saving Julia. So there's the plot of the movie. Simple enough, right? Let's get into these parallels between the movie and the 2025 Charlie Kirk situation. Now, this movie takes place on September 10th, which is the same day of the Kirk shooting in 2025. The most obvious connection is the name of the victims.
It's always funny when they're like, what are the chances of that? In this case, I can give you an exact number. It's 1 in 365.
Charles Kirkland versus Charlie Kirk. And both were shot in the throat, which is symbolic in itself. Now, the throat...
Is it symbolic? I think that's just where they got shot, man.
Chakra sits at
Oh, fuck off. poor understanding of Eastern philosophy or religion in the bingo card.
Base of the neck, governing communication, self-expression, and the ability to speak one's truth.
That's crazy, because the person who shot Charlie Kirk, there's no way there were, with how far that was, with how far that shot was, I doubt he was aiming directly for the neck. He may have been aiming for the head or even the chest. He was trying to aim at Charlie, but I doubt he could have so specifically hit right here intentionally from as far away as he was. That would be a crazy shot.
Both Charles Kirkland in the movie Snake Eyes and Charlie Kirk in real life were both voice figures. One was a Secretary of Defense holding secrets about missile systems, and the other was a campus tour firebrand speaking to hundreds of thousands of young Americans.
Yeah, those are very different things. Those aren't the same thing even a little bit.
Hitting them in the neck is symbolically an attack on the channel of speech. In the film, Kirkland is silenced before he can reveal a weapons scandal tied to Israel. In real life, Kirk was allegedly beginning to...
When he says tied to Israel, it's because the weapon is going to be used potentially in Israeli conflicts. He's being so vague as to make these two situations seem closer than they are. It's crazy. And I don't even know if they mentioned Israel specifically in Snake Eyes. The Fall Guy's Palestinian, but I do not recall them ever specifically mentioning Israel, so he's the one bringing that up.
To shift or nuance his Israel stance before being killed. Both of these happen on the eve of 9/11, which is one of the most charged dates in modern symbolic history. Both
in modern symbolic history. 9/11 out of nowhere on the bingo card.
Happened in front of large crowds. Despite being a longtime defender of Israel, Kirk made public remarks that questioned parts of Israel's strategy or criticized the failure in their security. For instance, after the October 7th, 2023 Hamas attacks, he openly asked how Israel's security apparatus could fail so catastrophically, given that Israel's advanced technology systems rival any in the world. He also cautioned against overreach in U.S. suppression of pro-Palestinian speech, warning that labeling too many statements as anti-Semitic could become a tool for censorship. Now, I'm not saying that supports a full turning, but rather Kirk was evolving towards a more critical, nuanced posture.
Oh my god, what is the pastor? Hold on, I gotta find it. I wonder if Right Wing Watch pulled it. One sec. There's a video. Right Wing Watch might have pulled it. If he didn't, I'll be shocked. Yep! Look at this.
Israel.
This is the craziest justification. This is insane. This guy's a conspiracy theorist, QAnon guy, and a pastor. His name is Shane Vaughn. He's popular in sort of religious QAnon right-wing circles. So he's pretty specific. He's not huge, but he's big enough that he's aware. Listen to this. This is fucked.
No, Israel did not kill Charlie Kirk. Satan did. And God allowed it for reasons that we may never know. But here's what I do know when I tell you something. There is something I have had my finger on the pulse of this nation for 5 years. I told you what the problem was. They were turning him in. There was Tucker and him were like this. They were turning Charlie against God's chosen people. And God said, no, not today. No, no, no. No, no, you're too pure and you have too much influence. So I'm going to bring you before Satan can use you. I'm going to let your testimony for the rest of your life be all the positive things you have said about Israel that's on record. See, now there are no videos of him except one where he started questioning Israel. Everything else is all positive Israel. And isn't that funny? That's all that's left in the collective archive.
He literally just said
No, Israel.
that God had Charlie Kirk killed so he couldn't speak critically of Israel. That is what that man just said. He just said God let Satan kill Charlie Kirk so he couldn't publicly criticize Israel. That's such a bizarrely insane statement to make. I don't even know how to broach it, so I'll just leave it. Fenekagami says, a veteran, fully trained military sniper with a spotter to help them calculate variables would struggle to have made that shot intentionally. Trained snipers always aim for the torso to minimize human error. The next shot was likely an accident.
I don't think he was actually abandoning Israel, but I do think he was pushing back on certain tactics, overreach, and the relationship between the U.S. and Israel's interests. Now, speaking of Israel's interests, the entire film is set in Atlantic City during a tropical storm named Jezebel. And if you didn't know, in the Bible,
the Jezebel spirit.
Jezebel is the queen who seduces Israel into idolatry, manipulates kings, and persecutes prophets. Many associate her with false worship, sexual power, and blood sacrifice. Now, in occult and modern witchcraft references, Jezebel also becomes shorthand for a coven spirit, the manipulator, the one who casts spells, hexes, and controls powerful men. After Kirk's assassination in 2025, an Arizona witch coven called Jezebel openly bragged online.
Jezebel is the name of the publication. That's not the name. Oh wait, is the group also called Jezebel? That's actually funny, because the publication is called Jezebel, but then it says, to villainize independent women, Jezebel is more than... No, okay. No, that's the name of the publication. He thinks it's the name of the witch coven they hired. Well, that's just bad reporting on his part.
Line about putting a hex on Charlie Kirk prior to his death. They claimed ritual responsibility in the esoteric witchcraft sense. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
And whether you see it as an act of them just trying to tie themselves to the event or a symbolic opportunism, it still mirrors the Snake Eyes lair, a Kirk figure whose silence under the storm of Jezebel on 9/10. Hey, yo.
Do you see how far he had to go to connect this and make it seem like a parallel? Insanity.
Here's a quick sidebar. Speaking of Arizona, Jezebel, and 9/10, 13 years ago before she married Charlie, Erica Kirk was Miss Arizona 2012. In that year, the Miss USA and Miss Universe franchise was under the Trump organization. She starred in a music video for the song She's My Kinda Crazy by Emerson Drive. Her role in the video is a female love interest who entices a man with her persuasive nature, her spontaneous energy. Hence the title, She's My Kinda Crazy. In the video, she can be seen cascading on a zip line past the numbers 910 in big lights right above the Fremont.
It says 910 on the left. I know it says 1010 over here. He's talking about this one.
Fremont translates to freedom, which is the word that was on Charlie's shirt. 910, Miss Arizona, Jezebel Coven from Arizona. All of this is too crazy. But what's even heavier is on the actual YouTube video for this song, Erica left a comment saying, "What a blast Tyler and I had shooting this video with you guys." Tyler, blast, shooting.
Yeah, they call filming things shooting it. It's not about the thing that happened to Charlie. Oh, Jesus.
13 years ago? Anyway, that takes me right back to the movie where a guy named Lincoln Tyler takes a fall to cause a distraction for the shooting with a lone gunman. Because in 2025, the Kirk shooting, the lone gunman's name is Tyler Robinson. And in just like the movie, the public is meant to accept Charlie Kirk's shooting as a lone gunman event. And in the movie, Santoro is meant to accept the
I do not understand for the life of me why people, especially in America, think it's so hard to have a singular lone gunman shoot someone. Like, what are you talking about? Do you know how easy it is to get a gun? And I want to be clear, I am not advocating for anything. People shouldn't be shooting each other. But what I'm saying is, you couldn't find a country on the planet that facilitates it more easily than the United States. You get a gun, it's incredibly easy to do, and then if you're a public person, you find where the person is. They have public schedules for where they're gonna be. Don't do it, but like, why are people acting as though it's like, oh, you would need to be a member of the CIA to figure this out? Like, no! Mostly people just don't want to go around murdering each other. It's not difficult. Like, it's not a complicated thing. I don't get why they act as though, like, they expect us to believe a single guy with a gun did this. That's all it takes. Charlie Kirk was shot with a bullet in his neck, and he died from a gun. It's not a conspiracy. Jesus.
the easy surface answer as well. But both of these stories are layered with the same ritual timing, hidden archetypes, and scapegoats. I mean, these parallels are too hard to ignore. Snake Eyes scripted a Kirk assassination under Jezebel on September 10th, silenced by a neck wound, orchestrated by insiders, and masked by a distraction. 2 decades later, Charlie Kirk meets the same archetype, September 10th, a throat wound, a Tyler, Whispers of Israel, and Jezebel.
Whispers of Israel is such a funny way to try and connect Israel to it. In the movie, again, I don't remember them mentioning Israel. The closest it gets is that there's a Palestinian national who is made to be the scapegoat. I don't remember them mentioning Israel.
Bell invoked again. Trump's also connected to the movie because the filming location is right next to Trump's Taj Mahal casino.
So it's not the Trump Taj Mahal casino, so there isn't a connection, is what you're trying to say. What a weird way to turn a non-connection into a connection. They didn't film it here, but down the street there's the Trump one, so...
And Charlie Kirk and his family were heavy Trump supporters.
Freyline with 40 bits says, I think one of the issues is that people don't realize how many failed attempts there are, how many people chicken out or get stopped, so it seems weirdly random rather than one of many slipping through. Fenekagami with 40 bits says, it's the pro-gun propaganda. The NRA and its minions had to train so many people to be terrified of losing their guns that it trained their brains to find any excuse to dismiss reasons to be critical of gun ownership. Alex Jones didn't help either. H. Baird said, speaking of the Trump Taj Mahal, why did he name his casino after a famous mausoleum? Is it a mausoleum? I know that the guy who had it built was building it for, like, his love or something. I thought it only became one because she died during its construction or something. I don't know, though.
Now, whether by coincidence, synchronicity, or the hidden hand, the real and the real converge, showing the world stage was prepared long before the curtain even rose. Last year, I made some connections to the MGM Plus TV show From, and I made those connections to the Trump shooting on July 13th, 2024. Then this year, I connected another MGM show to the same event, and both of those shows had the same director, and one of those shows actually premiered on the anniversary date of the Trump shooting. And the writer of the other show claims that his inspiration came from 9/11, even though this show has absolutely nothing to do with 9/11. I mean...
Does he understand that being inspired by something doesn't mean you just do that thing?
From is about monsters and people that can't leave a town. So where's the 9/11 inspiration?
I imagine it's thematic, probably in the ways people are reacting to a certain event. Probably a commentary on post 9/11 ideas and stuff. I do find it really interesting and enlightening as to how some people see media, though. That he's like, there's no 9/11. There's no building that gets hit by planes in here. How is this based on 9/11? Meanwhile, he spent the last 20 minutes connecting things that aren't really connected, but he can't understand a real potential thematic parallel that someone is intentionally, like, putting into their art. Oh boy.
Act. Also, there was so many connections to the number 7.
Like, it's very literal. It's a very literal view of what inspires means. Like, you mean, like, 9/11, when the planes flew into the buildings, right? You were inspired by that. So why no plane and building in this? It's like their understanding of any given subject is entirely aesthetic. It is entirely the surface level of the thing.
And now with this event actually happening in September, makes me realize the connection is even deeper with the word sept actually meaning 7. Now, I know that Wikipedia can be edited, but someone went and edited the Snake Eyes movie plot to say that it takes place on September 19th, even though you can clearly see it right at the beginning of the movie. The date shows on the boxing poster behind the newswoman. I mean, just compare that 0 to the other zeros on the flyer. And even if it was 19, 1 and 9 equal 10 anyway, so the symbolism holds up. Trump is the 45th and 47th president, which 45 and 47 reduced to 9/11. And in
And by reduce, you mean adding the single digits of this double-digit number for no discernible reason other than to intentionally get 9/11. You don't reduce double-digit numbers into single-digit numbers by adding the single digits in the double digits. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Freemason.
Yes, rounding error numerology. That's such a stretch.
The Tyler stands outside the door to keep out the eavesdroppers. And then we have Tyler taking the fall on the eve of 9/11, which is Richard
Freemason on the bingo card for the letter thing. The looks like a letter. That's a Freemason ceremonial thing. I don't remember what it's called.
transformation. Some people say that Tyler Robinson might have saw the movie. But my problem with this theory is, how do you explain all the other connections? The filming location.
You can find connections. Do you know how many movies there are? There's like 1 million movies in the world. There are so many events in the world, and we tend to classify things archetypically to some extent. We, like, look at Joseph Campbell's when he, like, tries to take all narratives and boil them down to... how many did Joseph Campbell say there were? Like 7 or 10 basic stories? I don't remember exactly. But that's often how we conceptualize these things. Conceptualize events is archetypically. That doesn't mean that they're inspired by each other. It's just that we tend to classify and put events into taxonomies narratively, and we draw connections between ones that are similar enough. It's not a conspiracy. You're just noticing similarities between events in a movie that are barely connected to the thing that you're thinking about. It's kind of wild. Rick M with 28 months says, thanks for all the face palms. No kings. Hell yeah. Thanks for your subscription.
Jezebel connection, the zip line across 910. I mean, if he did see the movie and acted on it in that way, how would he make all of those other connections stick? Some people say it's a code inside of our simulation containment, or that AI is writing our reality using training from all of our media, music, and movies.
That's a funny hypothesis. The shadowy cabal has gotten so lazy they're using AI to write their plots.
It's crazy. Me personally, I believe that the world that we stand on is a stage and we're all participating spectators. Every news cycle, every televised speech, every blockbuster film, hit record, music video, they all appear like they're separate events and they're organic. But when you step back for a minute and observe, a single choreography starts to come into view. I believe that the hidden hand directs the lighting and cues the actors to make sure that the same names, numbers, and colors broadcast across reality like an ancient ritual performed in plain sight. Most people see headlines, viral moments, game-winning baskets, tie-breaking passes, and movies for the masses. I don't even think that the lottery winners are organic. Don't like 70% of them have previous CIA and FBI connections?
No, what are you talking about? What? What?
What I do see is a bar for bar script written, rehearsed, and rolled out
It's not even close.
on the world stage so we can all see it. And we can all see it. It just
The only similarity that's even striking is the name and the fact that someone got shot. That's it.
depends on the level
Everything else you had to work so hard to make it even look like it's somewhat parallel.
of consciousness or awareness. You just have to start asking questions. I mean, even inside the entertainment industry, the symbols, the music notes and chord progressions, the colors, the animations, and the set designs, all of that is intentional. You got the net.
Oh yeah, I saw that. The army general admitting he was using AI to make military decisions. Yeah. I'm just riding this collapse out. That's fine. I've lived a pretty good life. All things considered, you know.
Works in studios and production houses encoding sacred dates, numerology, and geometry into their projects the same way cathedrals were built on ley lines. These motifs that we see in entertainment often synchronize with events unfolding outside of the screen. So when a premiere lands on a ritual date, it's obvious to us because a person had to actually select the date. And I'm sure most of us can agree on that so far. But what if I told you that it was every headline, every public figure, every so-called celebrity, all types of random events placed like a prop on a set long before most of us were even born? What if the characters that we believe to be organic, like the politicians, celebrities, shooters, whistleblowers, and even some of the witnesses, what if they're just really written into the script with the precision of somebody with a fire-ass pen game and endless resources to make it happen? I mean, we're all kind of at the mercy of just believe what we're told. You got the names, the backstories appearing like they're just emerged out the crowd, but they were cast years in advance. Either they were selected or groomed for certain positions in the future. What if all of this is just a ritual that plays out before our eyes? Spell casting. And this is why they use words like cast, casting, broadcast, channel like channeling, media like medium, projection, screen, evoke. You know what I'm saying? Just
misunderstand incorrect word etymology on the bingo card.
think about it. Even the architecture and the buildings around us carry codes inside of them. Release dates, color palettes, character names that follow the sacred geometry and the sacred numerology. It's like blueprints of a cathedral. I mean, you look at these ancient cathedrals, the stadiums, arenas, and entire street grids all across the realm in big cities all over the place. Think about it. Medieval builders used to align their cathedrals with solstices and star paths. And today, architects do the same things when you got urban planners that align plazas to skyline and ritual pathways. And then you have these events unfolding on these ritual grounds at precisely chosen times. These events aren't by accident at all, but through long preparation. And that long preparation is a practice discipline that they just didn't stop doing along the way. What do you think? They started doing all of these cathedrals on the ley lines and doing all of this esoteric symbolism, and then one day they stopped? What we're bearing witness to is a spell that's been cooking over decades. Figureheads are cycled through the media and entertainment for years, groomed to embody certain archetypes and activate narratives when the moment comes. And the funny thing is,
what if things just happen? What if the world is just full of 8 billion individual people with their own goals, and many of those people make up organizations that have their own goals. And all of these things are operating independently of one another and just doing their thing, and the net result of all of that is the chaos of the world. What if that's just it? Is that impalatable for you? That stuff just happens and there's no one puppeteering the whole thing? Because that's the truth.
Is they appear like natural members of
He's probably a flat earther. When they use realm like that, usually they're a flat earther.
society, the activist, the pop star, the hero, the villain. Yet they function as living pieces of an ongoing production because the world is indeed a stage. So there you have it, an oldie but goodie, some biblical history, some crazy meta connections, and my take on how it all comes to focus for those who can see. If you like this video, tap that screen for me a few times by liking and sharing. And if you're not subbed yet, hopefully this will be the video to make you do it. That's all.
What an asshole.
What if the wisest, most loving mentors you could ever imagine have been standing...
Adventuresin.net with the 55 stream streak says 55 double 5 must mean something. 5 plus 5 equals 10, and 1 times 0 equals 0, which is the same as 5 minus 5. We did it.
Beside you all along, just beyond the edge of your physical senses. I remember the first time I felt them. I wish I could say it was like a quiet hum, like a warm breeze across my soul, but it wasn't. I wasn't expecting them to visit, so it startled me. And maybe this has happened to you spontaneously as well. The experience made me curious, so I began to explore. And when I tried the first time, it felt like I was really making progress, and my body was gently beginning to float up and out, while my head felt like 1,000 pounds, as if somebody was shoving it back into my pillow. It took a little practice for me to feel safe in leaving my body, so I had to learn how to ground myself and how to feel safe while astral projecting and astral traveling. In future travels, I was completely aware and felt entirely safe. And it was then that I realized I wasn't alone. I was never alone. Their presence was unmistakable. It was loving and gentle, yet powerful. Hello, Diana. I've heard this on more than one occasion, and it is always the most loving, welcoming voice, one filled with recognition and trust. If you've experienced this, these are your spirit guides, beings that know your path, who've walked beside you through every lifetime, waiting for the moment you're ready to meet them. Today, I'll guide you step by step through astral projection so you can consciously leave behind the physical world and finally connect with the ones who have been waiting to meet you all along. This is
Seems like everyone's really desperate to be everywhere but Earth lately. Am I crazy? You noticed in all of the conspiracy theories, there's so many people wanting the rapture, this lady talking about go and astral project, and there's people waiting for you. People are desperate for connection to other people that care about them and don't just want to use them and take advantage of them. And we are so desperate for that, we just literally want to be anywhere but here. And that's so sad. That's so sad. That's so sad. We have failed as a society, fundamentally. And that's a bummer. Moira Soma, thanks for gifting a sub. Appreciate it.
Isn't just about seeing. It's about remembering the vast support that has always been here waiting for you. Let's prepare a sacred space together. This can be as simple as a quiet corner of your room, a candle's gentle flame, or a few crystals that hold meaning for you. What matters most?
Like, it really just feels like everyone's going insane rather than deal with reality. Or at least a great deal of people are going insane instead of dealing with reality. Moira Soma, thanks for gifting another sub.
Intention, because intention is the key that opens the door to the astral realm. Take a moment to whisper, or silently affirm. I call upon only the highest guidance and love. I travel safely. I return safely. I meet only those who serve my highest good. As you do, feel a subtle shift. The room grows still. Your heart begins to glow
Uses AI on the bingo card.
with quiet anticipation. You are safe. You are protected. And you are ready. Now let's move into the first step, relaxing the body and mind so your spirit can travel freely. Close your eyes now. Take a slow, deep breath in through the nose and exhale gently through the mouth. Again, inhale, hold for a moment, and release. Let each breath be a wave that washes tension away.
Okay, we get it. H-Bird says, I prefer medium guidance. No less bullshit than highest guidance, but half the price.
Hello, this is Dave.
Hi, Dave.
I thought I'd make a quick video to tell you not to give in, not to despair and never give up. Now that might sound oddly non-specific, but we're at war. But it's an asymmetrical war using different tactics that are unrecognizable as war. It has to be said that we lost the last battle, and that was COVID. And our casualties were enormous. Millions have died, and millions more will continue to die.
Get vaccinated, man! MSKTB89, thanks for 52 months, almost kicking off a hype train.
Not of the so-called virus, but of the vaccine.
Oh, Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting 5 Tier 1 subs and kicking off a hype train. Thank you very much. If you want to help out the hype train and support the channel, you can always gift subs, become a subscriber, or use bits. Thank you.
Vaccines. And now we're in the midst of the next battle. It's essentially a siege, an economic siege. In ancient times, an army would lay siege to a city by surrounding it and cutting off all supplies of food.
Dave, the economy is probably bad. I mean, there's multifaceted reasons. I think he still lives in the UK. I imagine that the ramifications of Brexit have not been awesome. I'd imagine that the US's global tariff bullshit probably has affected the market globally as well. So there's a variety of reasons that things are not going well economically, and none of it is because an evil, shadowy cabal hates you.
Water, medicine, and all other necessities to force their opponent into submission without the need to fight. Today, our adversary is using the same methods, just repackaged, rebranded, and represented to us as an organic and naturally occurring event. They're calling it the cost of living crisis, as if that's actually a thing. But is it? In the midst of this crisis, are the birds panicking? Are the foxes worried? Are the badgers committing suicide? No.
They don't get their food based on supply chains dictated by human social agreements. We do.
There is no cost to live on this earth. The earth is abundant, is always giving and renewing itself.
Have you ever tried to feed 8 billion people before, Dave? It takes some work.
This is an engineered artificial crisis. It might seem like these events are occurring naturally, and the reason that you are failing is because maybe you're not earning enough, or your job isn't good enough, you haven't managed your finances well enough, or perhaps you're not working hard enough. But none of
this is going to be annoyingly orbiting class consciousness, isn't it? He's going to get so close to recognizing a real problem and just not going to get it.
This is true. This has been intentionally manufactured to drive you into debt, confusion, desperation, and even suicide. It's no coincidence that several Western countries are rolling out suicide pods and enacting assisted death legislation, all in lockstep. In Canada, assisted dying is already legal and accounted for about 5% of deaths in 2023. I've spoken to quite a few suicidal people, and I've been able to change their outlook on their lives with just one conversation. But I did it just by changing their perspective on life. So they no longer felt that suicide was their only option. But if any of them had encountered somebody from the healthcare industry, they'd no doubt be assisted into what the medical butchers call brain death, which we now know means that they will be alive and conscious when they come to harvest the organs, because they can't take organs from a dead person.
They literally can only take organs from a dead person. What? Moira Soma, thanks for gifting a sub. 54% to level 3 with a minute left.
Watching what's been going on in America, where, as we know, whatever happens there will happen here in the UK within months or perhaps even weeks. What I'm seeing is increasing numbers of people who are on, six-figure salaries who are struggling to survive.
Yeah, America's fucked. Tariffs and basically all of the monetary policies of the current administration have made things so much worse. H-Bird says, let me guess, he sat next to an atheist on a plane and got them to believe in God after asking 3 key questions. Nemesaur, thanks for gifting 10 more tier 1 subs. That's generous of you. Thank you so much. 59% to level 5.
The elite have been busy engineering this worldwide food famine. They've been killing livestock or genetically modifying them or inoculating them with mRNA vaccines that inoculate us if we eat them. They've been infusing plants and fruits with...
That's not how that works. You don't get vaccinated because you eat the meat of an animal that was vaccinated, you psycho.
Poisonous chemicals.
I wish it did work like that, but it doesn't. Phoenix Leftist, thanks for 50 bits.
Gene therapy drugs and making it impossible for farmers, while simultaneously they've been buying up all available farmland. This famine will not look like a famine because the supermarket shelves will be full, but none of it will be food. But it doesn't matter if you actually find actual real food, because you won't be able to buy it, because the cost of being alive on this earth is rapidly exceeding the reach of all but the wealthy 1%. How coincidental is it that the only ones who have been prosperous over the last decades have been that same 1%? Is it coincidental that this 1% have stated on numerous occasions that they want to exterminate billions and billions of us?
That is not what they... Oh my god, the telephone game with the Bill Gates thing makes me want to die. They have twisted these words so many times that they're to the point where they're like, they're openly saying they want to wipe out billions of people. No, they haven't.
I don't think it's a coincidence that these same people are those who control the banks, the corporations, the government, the courts, the media, and the education system. The only reason we gathered together in these societies was essentially to take care of all our resources for mutual benefit. Now, that might have been how it worked in the past, but now it seems obvious that our resources are being taken from us for the benefit of the 1%. But it's all an illusion. The land is not owned. It is to be used. Birds and squirrels don't own the trees. They make use of them for food and for shelter. But once again, this 1% own all the land, more than they can ever use. But there again, they are using it. They're using it.
It annoys me a little bit when Dave or people like him will be like, animals don't own things, man. So, like, how can you own anything? Listen, animals many animals do get territorial. Animals get territorial and will determine that certain areas are their home or their place, and they will fight other people about it or fight other animals about it. We as humans have this as well. We abstract this to ownership, but it is effectively the same thing, right? So maybe get off your, like, I'm 14 and this is deep thing about, like, animals don't own anything. Yes, they kind of do. They can, in the same way that we might consider something ours, an animal can do that. We are just complex social creatures that have abstracted those interactions out to, like, the concept of ownership. Okay.
To subjugate us. But using something as a weapon to harm others is against
30
natural
seconds
law.
on the hype train.
So it's our right and our duty to disregard their claims. I believe, however, that we've been given a playbook, a set of misunderstood ancient books that tell us what's happening, who's behind it, and why. It speaks of celestial beings entering our world and mating with human women to spawn their own bloodline, with the intent to wipe out and replace the race of man.
Oh, this got a lot. I think I need to go back about 30 seconds so we can listen to that all again. Hold on.
I believe, however, that we've been given a playbook, a set of misunderstood ancient books that tell us what's happening, who's behind it, and why. It speaks of celestial beings entering our world and mating with human women to spawn their own bloodline, with the intent to wipe out and replace the race of man.
So his conspiracy is that as species, human men are being cucked. That's interesting. Can we dive into that psychologically? He thinks the species writ large is being cuckolded into extinction. Wow. Wow. There's some underlying stuff there that would be so fun to dig into. He's likely talking about the Nephilim, yeah.
However, the Most High has said multiple times, do not fear, because fear is unnecessary.
Fear is the mind killer. It's my favorite Bible verse.
In this world. There are lots of solutions that we can employ to deal with these issues. So don't worry about it, right? Don't fear the food famine. You have all the food, water, and medicine you'll ever need. You have it with you at all times, and it's your urine.
Oh, no! Pissmas!
Now, I know that it sounds unpalatable, but you are being intentionally starved to death. And drinking your urine will keep you fed, hydrated, strong, and healthy indefinitely. We all know it's a survival
Picked a bad time to eat salt and vinegar chips, huh?
technique, and whether you know it or not, we are in survival mode right now. Now, money is the foundation of this illusion, and I've seen a number of videos with people saying that they are getting to the point where they will have to start stealing just to survive. That shows you how much we've forgotten about who we are. All of these countries that we live in are bankrupt. They have actually absolutely no money. So we became the money.
The misunderstanding of fiat currency again.
The government borrows money using us as collateral. And all other money comes into existence when we sign our names to authorize its creation. We are the creditors. Money doesn't come from the banks. The banks ask permission from us to create it. So if there aren't enough bank promissory notes out there to
Look at this big, it's almost like a ball of potato, all bunched up. This is going to be the saltiest, vinegariest fried potato in history. Look at it. Look at it. It's just a ball of potato.
to pay things with, then pay with your own promissory note. So make up your own note and pay with that. You're not stealing, you're paying with a valid cash instrument. The shop can deposit that in the bank and the bank can credit their account with
Tasted kind of like a vinegary hush puppy.
it. Okay, the bank's articles of association state that that's what they do. Right? They just don't want to do it for you. You don't have to pay council tax for any reason whatsoever. Okay, because there is no law
I think your council would probably disagree with that.
saying that you have to pay it. Don't pay for water. Instead, charge them your fees for making the water that they supply drinkable. And tell them that you'll pay their charges if you pay yours. Or you'll pay their charges.
Okay, they're just going to shut your water off. They're just going to shut your water off. You don't have any bargaining chips in that scenario. They're just going to shut your water off.
If they pay yours. Don't pay for their made-up fines and penalty charges. Because they're all based on rules that don't apply to you. You can't be imprisoned for not paying, only intimidated and threatened by toothless enforcement agents.
They're going to shut your water off.
Don't let their fear tactics change who you are or how you live your life. Don't lose heart. This is an utterly wicked world, dripping with evil. But most can't see it because their minds have been slowly conditioned to accept it. We have elites drinking the blood of terrified children.
Adrenochrome on the bingo card.
Computer chips made of living human conscious brain cells.
They're not conscious.
Children sexualized and brainwashed into
ew.
changing their genders by depraved drag queens.
Conflating, it's not on the bingo card, conflating drag queens and trans people, again, not the same thing. Transphobia on the bingo card.
We've got planes spraying poison in the skies every day.
Chemtrails on the bingo card, or chemical fear-mongering.
We've got defibrillators in school playgrounds. You know, baby dismemberment.
Yeah, there were defibrillators at my school. Like, what if someone has a heart attack? Like, what? Yes? Is there a problem with there being defibrillators around? What if someone has a heart rhythm that's bad for them? What? I'm very confused.
Facilities, organ harvesting from living people, suicide pods, etc., etc., etc. It's a nightmare that we have to struggle to wake up from. But waking up is what's happening today. Right? What we need to do, the only thing we need to do, is to say no. Yeah, there's a meme out there, and the people said no, the end. And it's true. All we need to do is say no. We're not going along with it.
Here's the problem. You're not the people, you're a person. And if one person says no, you're just going to get your water shut off, which is what's going to happen. So.
And just don't go along with what these governments say. I mentioned about the Nephilim, the children of these celestial beings and human women. They're still around today, and they hate humans, which is why they created these inhuman systems and societies around us, because they hate us and they want to exterminate us. That must be obvious to people now. It is obvious. I said...
Our economic system is so bad that people like this think it's literally a torture mechanism designed by aliens. Fun.
Well, maybe you wouldn't have seen it because it got censored. Back in 2020, I made a video and I said when COVID started that this is either the dress rehearsal or this is the end game. And within a week or two, I put out another video, again censored, that I think this is the end game. Right? It's not the dress rehearsal because we've gone past the point of no return, and that is the case. The We can see them rushing, and that is the case. We can see them rushing ahead to try and get their systems in place, right? To actually do the final culling of humanity, right? Because that is the end game. Right? The COVID thing, right, was to take out. I'm sorry to say, take out the weak and the stupid. Right?
That's insane. You're still here.
Now, those who didn't fall for the, for the jabs, the poison jabs, well, they're to be herded into smart cities, controlled economically, and then disposed of.
None of this makes any sense. And your thing, why wouldn't they just nuke everyone? You think they're just aliens or demons or whatever? They should just kill everyone. Like, why would it require any of the things you're talking about? It doesn't make any sense.
In a sort of methodical fashion. That's the end game. And unfortunately, it's all been put into place at this point, right at this time. But as I said, the answer to this is to not go along with it, right? And it might be hard, it might be very difficult because we've been conditioned to accept the way this society works, so we can't really see any alternative. But here's the thing. The architects of this system, these Nephilim, they are left-brain thinkers. They don't really have this facility that we have, which is this right-brained, sort of heart-based way of seeing the world.
I'm pretty sure the left brain, right brain thing has been debunked, by the way. This idea that, like, the one side is logical and the other is creative. Like, that's... Like, I think that's next to, like, you only use 10% of your brain in terms of, like, nonsense, untrue things that got into pop culture about brains.
I've spoken in other talks about the fourth dimension. The right-hand side of our brain and our heart literally connect to the fourth dimension. And that's where ideas and creativity comes from.
So interesting that he doesn't think humans have the capability of being creative unless we're literally plagiarizing from the fourth dimension. Like, we can't just create things and recombine things and, actually have some sort of, like, way to create new things. We just gotta pull stuff from the fourth dimension, obviously.
But these Nephilim, right, don't have that access. They can only think logically. And the problem with logic is that you can only think of things in terms of things you already know.
That's how everything works! What are you talking about? That's how everything works, if you're talking about reality.
So while they can put their left brain systems into place, it will never account for this ability that humans have to come up with creative solutions to their systems. It always has happened. Whenever they put something in place, there's like a black market that occurs underneath the radar that, people who are awake can survive what's going on the surface.
The enemy is infinitely strong and infinitely weak and can always be worked around.
Yeah, so that's what's going to happen. I can't tell you exactly how it's going to happen, but I can tell you that that's what will happen. This bloodline has been working to take over the world from the rest of the human race, and because they don't believe they are part of the human race. They know they're not part of the human race. Right? They believe themselves superior. They say they have the blood of the gods in them. Right? You go and look up who these gods are. They know who these gods are because they sacrifice to these gods in order to get information and power. Okay, that's what.
Imagine just making up an enemy this evil instead of recognizing that human beings just create really fucked up systems. Like, I don't get it.
All these blood rituals and stuff that are still going on ever since the ancient days. They're just still carried on, but in secret. And with that power, with that information, they've been able to put themselves into positions of power and very slowly, inch by inch, take over the entire world. Right now, we do have a one world government. This bloodline
we do not have a one world government.
Has basically infiltrated every government in the world, and they're all working in concert with
Just a Peach says, no creative skills, no predictive programming, right? You'd think.
each other. I think it was Klaus Schwab who basically said, you know, we penetrate the cabinet.
When I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. But what we are very proud of now, the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So,
you know, they literally...
Yep, they're an NGO that works to influence governments and systems around the world.
They put their people everywhere, in every position of power, every position of influence, okay? And they've been orchestrating a puppet show for the benefit of
They're basically lobbying, Dave. They're not...
the humans, right? So...
Again, they're so close to, like, understanding something, and then they just, like, overshoot it into this weird fantasy realm, and they flatten it all into this weird black and white story.
So here we are in this world, right, which has been completely taken over by, okay, for want of a better word, aliens who hate humans. And the goal is to exterminate the humans. Now, there's a book that explains the whole story from beginning to end, and that's the Old Testament.
Harold Elbleman says, honest question, is that a cognitive distortion we sometimes do with fascist governments, or is it just axiomatically true that they're very powerful but also clueless sometimes? I've noticed, and I know that this is like a thing in fascism and generally considered like a quality that fascists used, but I have seen this all over the place. I don't think this is just a fascist thing. I think this is just a specious human thing where we tend to look at our enemies, politically or otherwise, and say, they're so powerful and concerning, here's why, but also here's the things that make them easy to beat. I think that's just a thing we all do to some extent, and it's something we should all keep a check on to make sure we're not just falling into those same tropes.
And the Old Testament basically tells you that we've won. We win this battle. And they know it too.
Orion Cooper with a $2 super chat says it's like Peter in the wheelchair, but with Jewish people instead. Kinda. Just, yeah.
They know it.
We don't know about Peter. Peter, it's basically just prejudice. It's just prejudice, would be, I guess, the broad way of saying it. Peter developed prejudice for an incredibly stupid reason. I mean, there's not a good reason to develop prejudice, but you know what I mean. He got swindled by a guy who happened to be in a wheelchair, and instead of recognizing that he made a bad call trusting that particular guy, he decided he didn't want to trust people with disabilities anymore. And I'm not reading between the lines. He said that. So, like, I don't know. I think some people, again, it's just everything's aesthetic. You only notice the surface level about people and situations, and it's just terrible.
And so what's happening right now is that they know they're losing or they've lost, and they're going to try and take as many of us with them as they go. Because they've got that spiteful hatred. Even though they've lost, they want to inflict as much damage before they die out altogether.
All right.
And
I gotta get going, everyone. Sorry I gotta stop in the middle of the video, but apparently the wedding's a little sooner than we thought, by half an hour, so I gotta end now instead of in 23 minutes or so. So thanks, everyone, for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Sorry about the early stream today, but like I said, I have a wedding I'm going to. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Let's raid Tina.
Who would...
Do 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 do. All right. I'll see y'all soon. Have a good night, everyone. I'm gonna go put on a dress so I'm not dressed as Spock at the wedding. As fun as that would be. All right, see you, everyone.